What is going on, everyone? We're back with the P2 theory. Here we have my good friend Alex Corral, ATA, Alex the Abundant. What's happening, my friend?
Phenomenal day. Super ready to share this wisdom. We'll be talking about energy. It's probably the most important resource on the planet, and no one really sees it. So we're gonna dive into it so we can make it visible for everybody.
Yeah. You harness the energy, and then you do a good job of spreading out the energy. Sometimes I use coffee for energy. How do we how do we generate that energy on our own? I'm excited to hear about it. Before we dive in, man, interesting week for me, man. I had, kind of just bringing some business things in. So I had this kid that was working with our team, man. And, he's good at what he did, but his attitude just wasn't there, man. And how he was talking to the team, talking to the customers, and had to let him go. Um, good at what he did,
100%.
but here's what I was protecting: the energy of the work environment,
Yeah.
of the culture. I mean, and how you've been in situations like this. How's that played into your business, man?
Yeah, so I know last week we were empathetic in, dealing with employees and giving certain people a shot. There's empathy when it's allowed from that other person. In this situation, if you see someone has a tainted heart, really g- giving no value to the evolution of your company in terms of energy, uplifting, camaraderie. People love working with him. You can see the whole business growing. You think about the person and he makes you smile. There's no empathy there anymore. There's chances I give for them to turn it around because everyone deserves a chance, and I've turned it around. So I understand, you know, people might not see the light at first. And you can only go so far until you have to make that cut immediately. I would say those are the immediate cuts. I would say the people who have a great heart, who may not do the job the best, those are the ones you cultivate to be phenomenal, because then they'll respect you, they'll be loyal because you gave them the chance to be their most phenomenal selves. If they do not appreciate what they're given and they give a bad attitude and they're giving toxicity to the group, that's a 100% elimination.
Hmm. Yeah. And how hard are those conversations?
Well, with me, it's not that hard because I give them many chances, and I already have the talks. I have talks along the way of expectations. By the end, they come to me and say, "Hey, I'm not ready to work with a company like yours." Honestly, at this point.
It's like, yeah, I'm gonna hang up the coat here, man. I gotta get out of this. This is too much for me. But hey,
Well,
here's the
not even much. I give them
yeah,
opportunity so they know what they're expected to do,
yeah,
and if they can't live up to their most highest self, their most phenomenal self,
yeah, yeah.
then
Well, I mean, what you gotta
they
realize
still
is
have to
that,
go to.
I
Yeah.
mean, that's a gift, man. And I think most people, even if they cross your path, as somebody that's actually someone that wants to invest really in helping someone become their best self, they're going to reflect on that because it won't happen again, man. It's very rare for anyone to come across somebody that actually truly cares about their personal growth, not just what they do on the job. Like most business owners care about how well they do their job. You care about their thoughts and their actions outside of their job just as much as you do what they do on the job. And that could be a lot for someone, especially if, that's the only personal development they've ever came across, right?
Yeah, sometimes I think about if I come across like this person who never has any problems, with my team. Can I give them a lot of uplifting and these motivational, you know, I would say awareness, this motivational awareness to be their best selves. I'm always be your best self, high energy. Hey, we talk to me, we could do it together. I would say 80% of my life is being so aware of my own thoughts and my awareness of my limiting beliefs, my scarcity, my any negativity that's limiting me and bringing me down. That's how I would say most of my day goes. So I don't live a perfect life. My mindset was cultivated in a negative environment. So I work so hard and I give so much like love to people because I understand how difficult it is to go from one personality of core beliefs of negativity, maybe not believing in yourself, not being the best, feeling unworthy of things, to then being a person of wholeness where you don't need anything to make you happy. That's the huge transition I'm doing right now. And I fought to like tooth and nail for it. I've had days where it's just been unbelievable, but I could tell everyone out there the most worthy thing in this world is to challenge yourself, to self-love yourself so much, meaning you push yourself to be your best every day, no matter how you feel. And not with motivation of needing to look a certain way or be a certain way or be this person or have this much money or have a six pack and biceps or, these accomplishments like a master's degree or the best business ever. If you become your best person, you'll get those things because you will push yourself to get them. And you can get them with a smile. That's my goal for everyone who comes into my business and myself. That's why I send Tanner and a bunch of guys messages 3-4 times a week, high level thinking to put things in perspective. If you could be happy, if you could be your best, if you don't need anything to be confident, to know who you are, you'll get everything you want because you'll pursue it with joy, confidence, and 100% strength.
All right, hold on. So, sometimes with addicts, right? Like drug addicts, they'll, turn their life around, and essentially because of the change that they made, they devote their entire life. In some cases, right? There's a small percentage that just devote their entire life on helping others achieve sobriety because they could resonate with the individual that is stuck in the addiction. And because of that,
Yeah.
they see themselves in that individual. And because of that, it's almost like they're rescuing themselves. Let me ask you, man. I mean, you're so passionate about this. I mean, do you see yourself in your employees? And if so, are you trying to rescue them from what you've been through?
That was an awesome question. I would say, in a manner, yes. You knew me. Like Tanner knew who I was. So I've been through a lot. Those my thought patterns of I was an addict. So there was multiple addictions, but the reason why you're an addiction, get addiction is because you don't have confidence in yourself to be the best person. Like people drink because they're unhappy, but they're unhappy because they don't have like self-confidence. They don't believe in themselves to stay in the pocket when you're bored or things are going wrong, to believe in yourself so much that you'll come through it with God or the creator or whoever you believe you are, to come out on the other side in the best way, to sit in that pocket of uncomfort and get through it with a smile. When you have developed a consciousness or subconsciousness of negative thinking because of like how you grew up, how your parents spoke to you, how your brother spoke to you, how kids spoke to you, you know that never goes away. You might look confident, but in the back of your head, the only reason you have that confidence and you push yourself is because that subconscious voice in the back of your head is like, you're not worthy enough, you're not good enough, you're not this, you're not that. If you don't have money, you're a loser. If you don't have the booming business. You're a loser. You better not try that because you might fail and then you'll be a loser. I've worked 15 years now at getting those voices out of my head because Tanner's knows, even in my worst mental days, I was still fairly successful in what I was doing, right? I got successful with Cabinet Coding Kings, and I still had this unworthiness feeling inside, like I didn't deserve it, like I was gonna lose it. I might get it. It's gonna abandon me. A scarcity came over me because I got this success, and now do I need this to be this person? And it was scary because I'm like, look, I got this success. I'm good, and I have a great business, and I felt even worse inside. So just like you could be addicted to drugs, you could be addicted. It is an addiction. It's worse than drugs. Thought addictions, attachment addictions of situations you don't even know. You'll put yourself in stressful situations because you're addicted to stress. No, you guys you're not even aware of it. I've been detaching of everything, guys. Everything. If I don't get, like, in my mind, I visualize, all right, 20 jobs a week. Try to get 20 cabinet jobs a week out there. Anyone listening? Or 20 jobs a week in anything. That's a high goal. I had to separate getting it from being it. If I be it, I'm going to live my best life because I'm going to be in the energy of already having that. So regardless if I get it or not, I'm going to make better decisions. I'm going to be healthier. I'm going to be less stressed. And it's a thin line. It's something you have to listen to and feel inside. Trust me, I've been doing this a long time. There was a point where I had those goals, and if I didn't reach them, it was the worst day of my life, the worst week of my life, the worst month of my life, because the business wasn't successful. So
Well,
my
you're not.
happiness was attached to business.
Well, I love that you set the high goal and really like you set it with the idea behind, hey, at the end of the day, I'm gonna set this so I can align myself with it, and by default, I'm going to act in that way of achieving it. I'm going to think in that way of achieving it, and I'm going to get great results. If I hit the goal, fantastic. If I don't, the glory was in the journey, man. It was how I acted this week, how I kicked off Monday, how I motivated my team, and I really understand what you say when you say my team is operating at such a high level, and it's because you're injecting this energy into everyone around you, which you're attempting to do through this series we're doing. It's just it's contagious. We talked about how thoughts can be addictions. For me, I'm not as good at separating these thoughts as you are, because this has been such a focus for you, and you kind of helped me through that, especially with two businesses and young kids and marriage and everything that comes with that. How do you find balance? Because you're not a single bachelor. You're not just building your business and then going home and crashing. What has balance been like for you with home, with this big business you have, 2 million plus business? That's a lot of movement happening under your hands, man. So what's balance look like for you on the family side?
So let me just tell everyone, I have 4 kids, okay? 2 step kids, one kid who lives like an hour away, so I get him every weekend if I can. And then I have a 3-year-old. So so it goes from 3 to 17. So I have the whole spectrum, and then the business and the wife. I made sure to make the business. Tanner helped me see how I help him with life situations and awareness of thoughts. He helps me with awareness of business. He pushed me to get the admin. He pushed me to get the salesperson, and I made big moves there. I made the decision, right? Like, God will send you, the universe will send you help. You have to be brave enough to see it and go for it, regardless what situation you're going in your life. You got to see through everything and be able to make the proper decisions. That's why I have a thing called HFEV, highest frequency energy vibrancy, where whatever's going on in the business, I try never to bring it home to the family. And it was very difficult in the beginning when the happiness was attached to the success of the business. Now I look at my family and I'm like, all right, how's my success with my family? Right. All right, whatever. The business is doing this. That's whatever. If I make my home the best I can make it, at least that will be a sanctuary, right? Like, how can I push my family to be their best? Like, me
Yeah.
and my
Hey,
wife
hold
are
on.
very into
That's a good
self-awareness.
one. Don't
She
go too
practices
far.
well.
Don't go too far, because that sanctuary word is so important, man. Like I think it's really hard to build a business unless the home life is. If you would describe your home life, you say, "Hey, man, this is a sanctuary for me. It's healthy. It's happy. There's very little, if no, arguments between me and my spouse." I mean, can you imagine someone being in a position where work is a relief, and the
Ugh.
stress is in comparison? I mean, how does somebody navigate that, man? Because that's a reality. It's not an uncommon reality. How does somebody
So,
how does
from
somebody try to first of all, there's levels, right? I think the first level is
oh,
mastering your own
big
self,
love.
right? Because you can't help anyone. You can't put the seatbelt on someone else unless yours is on, or you're gonna die. So, you got to put your
But
seatbelt
hey,
on.
You actually said one good thing regarding that. You've said it, but and then I've heard it in other places, but it always resonated with me at this one point. You always said you can't give anything you don't have inside.
Yeah.
So if you don't have self-love for yourself, you can't authentically give it to people.
Can't.
Okay? If you're not confident, you can't give confidence to people. You could get fake shit all day long, but then they'll see through it when you're having a tough day and you're breaking down.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think, self-love comes with confidence, and it's deeply rooted, but I think you can't talk successful business unless the business owner has a certain level of self-love, has a certain level of has a growth mindset, has the ability to pull his team through challenges, bro, and motivate individuals to work hard for that individual, right? Like, in a way that's above and beyond. Like, I don't think anything in my business is like the wins that we've had, the favors that I've had to ask my team to do, staying late, working on a weekend every now and again, hustling to get a job done, to hit a deadline. I think, people that I read this, it says leaders have a unique ability to get people to do what they need them to do because they want to do it. That's that's leadership. It's like, how
You should
can
see
you
you should see my team right now, bro. They're like, it's unbelievable. They do. I don't have to tell them to do anything. They do it on their own. I've already created the HFEV where they want to be their best and they know what they have to do and they get it done. Listen to this. Just listen to this situation. My guy broke his hand the other week on Monday, right? And then one of my guys was getting married and I didn't see he scheduled off, so I scheduled a job for him. So he was only
Oh,
able to
no
work
way.
2 days.
You're
So my manager
like, "Oh, by
Logan,
the
who's
way, you're getting
phenomenal, the
wait, hold
goat.
you're like, by the way, you're getting married. You're not gonna be here next week?"
Oh,
Like,
I knew he was. Well, I didn't know the date.
yeah,
But he that like we didn't schedule it. We didn't put it in the
block it
schedule.
off. Yeah,
Like uh, I just didn't like. I don't know. It was one of those things that were like misrepresented, right? Um, but because it was on the weekend, so I gave him a small job to get it done, but I didn't know he requested off like earlier in the week. So anyway, so I had to get pretty much 60% of that job done, and then 80% of another job done, and then I got Logan, my manager, who now has a job and a half plus all managerial responsibility put on him. Dude, the guy
yeah,
took it like a champ, finished everything. Obviously, I have extra, so I had him, and then I have this guy, kid Jared, who's a phenomenal 18-year-old who just loves being around the environment and quit a big corporate construction job to come back to me because he saw how
yeah,
phenomenal my art was. And they busted it out, bro. Logan stayed till 8 o'clock on Saturday, so busted out like a 70-hour week. He made $3K, so it's not like he didn't make any money. Um, but he really just put it on himself. And then, you know, I told him, hey, you get to ask for help on these days too, because he loves taking the load and not expressing when he's overloaded. So I'm like, hell, we could put the order in for you. We could get the hinges for you. Tell the guys they need to step up and help you. I'll tell them, like, you got to let us know or we can't help you either. So there's a lot of situations that come up, but he dominated that situation. And then, you know, that's just how the team is. It's always like, and then I needed one of my guys to step in and do like a day of frames while doing his
So,
own job, and he's a beast. So he went there and did it. So my guys just literally,
there's a
if I
word you
need
used in
something,
there,
and there's guys,
and it's like that team
huh?
culture, man. It's team. It's team. And in some businesses, like especially our industry, man, home service mostly. If you have multiple crews, it's like, yo, they're not, you know, it's like to get someone to do someone else's job in this industry is like the hardest thing in the world, bro. If you can't, you know what I mean, right? Like if you have someone that
Oh, no one
is
wants.
getting is getting paid to do a job, and for whatever reason they had to leave or they had to miss it or they couldn't finish it, to get someone to go finish someone else's work is very, 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 very difficult. And you're doing it in a way that it seems as though it's just like, let's go. It's business, because you're using that word team. And I use that word team a lot, man. It's team. Everything's team. Every time I address my guys, it's all right, team. You know, this is what we're up to. Team, 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 team. And just because we're not playing on the same field every day doesn't mean that we're not going for the same goal, right? Because everything impacts the entire unit. And I've tried to make that very clear. I don't want to go too far away, man, because somebody's probably like, damn, when are they going to talk about the guy who has turmoil at home? You know,
Oh,
are they gonna not go? Let's get back to that,
so,
because it's important, man. If there's turmoil at the house, man, and it's like, dude, the
okay,
last thing I can
so
think about is growing my
this
business.
is super important. Super important. At the home. So this is I I could go forever on this, but and we'll focus. Okay, so with your house, you get to put your ego to the side and see what everyone is going through. Because as business owners, I know a lot of us are like, I run a business, I have all the stress, I have all this, and then you think your wife at home who's taking care of the kids might be like, oh, your job's to take care of the kids and do this. You don't understand. Taking care of the kids, Tanner, I know you sub in a lot and help a lot. When you take care of a kid for 2 hours, after that, it's like you ran like a marathon.
Bro, hold on.
What do you
Let me tell you
what do you say about that?
I first of all need to understand. Like, I just need to make this clear, man. Like, bro, that's $150,000-$200,000 a year job over there. What my wife does every day,
Oh,
if not more.
wife, yeah,
250.
taking care of the kids.
250 easily. Okay, first of all. Second of all, you put me with my kids for 2 hours when they're at peak, like tired and hungry, bro. I mean, mentally, if you want me to be honest, bro, I want to just escape. Like, I really do. I'm not even
Uh,
gonna, like, I
yeah,
have to, like, if we're gonna be honest on the pod, bro, it's like I want to just take a long walk, because this is just me, and I don't know about you, bro. Maybe you're really good at this, but bro, my brain never stops thinking about my businesses, of what I need to do.
I got better. I
You
got
got
better.
better.
I got
Okay.
better.
All right. For me, it's what I need to do. Oh shit, I forgot to tell this person about this. I forgot this person needs to go here. This person just told me they're taking off Friday and I had them scheduled to go do something. I mean, if you think about how many thoughts happen. So the first problem for me is that I might be mentally somewhere else, and then my kids are going nuts and I'm trying to like zero back in. And bro, and then there's this guilt factor of like, bro, dude, be present. Your kids are going to grow up so fast. And then when you're old, you're going to feel guilty because all you thought about and all you did was work. So there's this level of guilt that I really just don't even want to like think about. But I also try to think about, because that guilt keeps me present, because I'm like, all right, dude, forget the business. It can burn. You're with your kids. They're beautiful. They're young. So anyway, man, just there's a lot there, I would say, though. But man, 2 hours with the kids, I mean, that's very difficult. Like, it's not easy, especially young kids. My kids are 3 and, 2 and 4.
Yeah.
They're jumping on things. They want to do. They want One wants to go outside. The other one wants to stay inside. The one, I mean, it's all. I mean, but got to give credit where it's due, man. My wife's a powerhouse. She's the reason I can
Yeah.
sit in the freaking office and do a podcast and build businesses, and it's because I have a teammate there that and I
Team,
try to.
it's everywhere.
But I try to provide value to her, man. Ultimately, like, one of my goals, Alex, you know this. I wanted to retire her. I wanted to retire her mom. I wanted to, I align my pursuits with how can I provide as much value as possible to the people that I love. If you're gonna let me sit up here in this freaking office, I'm gonna sell, bro. I'm not gonna be sitting up here just dicking around, man. For me, it's urgency all day. It's like I'm privileged to be up here. I'm privileged to be able to go to work and know
Let
my
me
family's.
let me take this to the side for a second. Just for the view, whoever's listening, they might want to. I would say they need to hear something like this, right? So what we were just talking about, so we just had 2 hours is crazy. Like, my wife works a full-time job, and then, well, my daughter now goes to school until 5, but like, it's like the wife is full-time job, and then when the kid gets home at 5, I try to be there and do everything I can, but mainly it's her. Honestly, I'll be honest, when she gets like fussy, I go, all right, babe, you just gotta take over. It's like, that's just, I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
hey, it's your turn. Like, now you really just gotta step in here.
Yeah. Here you go. I think.
But what I really
Hey.
wanted to talk about is the energy, right? Like, the
Yeah.
energy that you bring home from the business, that
Yeah.
you feel entitled. Like, some people feel entitled that they're okay giving negative energy from what they brought in from the world. This is important. Tanner, ready?
Yeah.
This is guarding your energy. This is guarding your energy, right? So you have all this energy inside. What do we normally give it to? All the negative situations. We never sit in the phenomenal situations. We always sit in the, oh no, what's going to happen with this situation? Guess what happens when you sit in the oh no's and you bring home oh no energy, and then you take it out on your family? You're going to go in a vortex and never be able to get out of a stressful oh no life, because that's what you're attracting nonstop, because you're focusing on that.
Right.
That's my main focus in life. I'm like, in my mind, regardless what's going on, and this is a practice I have not mastered. I'm doing my best. I'm just doing my best, guys. All right. Nothing I say I'm a master at, but I know the truths. There's 15 years of like digging in and like freaking peeling the onion of myself and failing and getting back up and failing and getting back up. And now my failures are experiences, and I love it, and I want to go for it. And you can't come home and bring the negative energy, and you can't sit in the negative energy, because energy is focused, and whatever your energy is focused on, that's what you'll create. You might make money, you might create something phenomenal, but it will be in a stressful up climb. When you could go inside, detach, be like, fuck it, if I'm not successful, if I work at McDonald's, which will never happen, when you get to this point, and I'm not, whoever works at McDonald's, you're awesome, right? I'm not saying anything like that, but you have to be able to detach and be happy no matter what. And that practice, that simple practice, is a lifelong practice, because the world changes, the life changes, there's change. You're not going to be able to control it. You're going to come home. I have 4 kids and a wife. One of them something might happen, you know.
Yeah.
I have to be in my HFEB. I have to be in my best. Something might happen with the business. I got to be able to have my best mindset, highest energy, most positivity. That will bring the best of life.
Oh.
The only reason life gets easier is because your brain gets stronger. It's like working out. You got to say the yes in the where you think you have no hope, right? In the gym, you're not just going to go in there and lift 315 pounds on the bench or squat 500 pounds. If you can work your way up to being able to rep that out over a long period of time, doing the right disciplines, the right intentions, the right mindset, it's just the same way with success in life and leveling up in life. you're not just gonna all of a sudden one day be like, all right, I'm gonna pick up this book and I'm gonna be the best learner and I'm gonna go do this business and I'm gonna be perfect and I'm gonna make the best decisions and I'm gonna be happy. You work on everything. You
I
work
want
on
to,
strengthening yourself and you put yourself out there and you allow God to help you because you put yourself out there in faith.
amen. I want to make a point here, man. Like I feel like I'm paying the sins of the father. Now you know that about me, man. It's like, dude, the lineage
Yeah.
that I have in
We
front of
could
me,
go back.
that's a whole nother one. We'll get there. But the lineage I have in
Yeah.
front of me, man, and for me, first of all, forget F the business, bro. I care less about the businesses. Like if at the end of the day, man, like the greatest accomplishment I'm going to have in my life is staying married to my wife until I die. That to me is my first goal, is to make sure that my marriage is strong and I stay married. Hold on. Because
Can I but can
sure,
I give you a lot of praise real quick? You could keep going.
if you
First
want.
off, everyone out there, Tanner already accomplished his most phenomenal success ever by changing his stars and being who he is. At a young age, he was so aware and so wise of what should happen in life and what he will not let happen in life. That's why he's here right now. Since he was a young 10, 8-year old, he's been cultivating his success movement. He just didn't do it. He's he's it. He was always it. He had the it because he knew what he needed to do and he brought the energy to
Well,
God
sometimes
in the universe
I
and he deserved
sometimes
everything he had.
sometimes it's not about knowing what to do, it's knowing what not to do. And that'll lead you. I mean, it's if there's two paths, you just stay away from the one that's scary, And for me, that's what I did, man. And I look at it like, man, how much better would my life be if I had two functional parents? How much, and you too,
Would it?
you don't have that either. But there'd be a
No.
certain level.
Would it
I'm
been
not saying it would be okay, fine, but there's a certain baseline that I crave in terms of just being. I would be a kid in the eyes. I don't have that to lean on, bro. And there's times where I need that to lean on, like go just to be able to have the example of two functioning parents, to a healthy marriage to look up to. So I'm paving the way. Very rarely do men get together and talk about how to make a marriage work. We all have no problem talking about how to make a business work, right? We could sit here. I mean,
mm,
it's a freaking podcast about business. You know what I'm saying? We can figure out that. But when it comes to marriage, how the hell do we make that work? Right. And I don't have an example of it. Wait, hold on. I don't have an example of it in my parents or my grandparents because the men weren't having mindset conversations and they couldn't put their flesh aside, right? And that's the reason why it was such a challenge to break through the concrete for me. And I was that little crack that came through. I found a little crack and I made it through. Okay. But not many people have that opportunity. But here's the deal, man. No one talks about that. And I like to talk about it. I want to know the secrets to making it work. I always, one of the things I always ask, that's why one of the things I've been so blessed with in this industry is, especially where I live, I deal with a lot of retirees here in Ocala. And dude, it's very rare for me to do an estimate with someone who's a married, happy couple and ask them what the secret to their marriage is. And it's so cool, bro, because they'll tell me. And part of me is doing it to be funny, like to just spark conversation. But part of me, there's a deep craving in me to truly understand what it takes to get to be 60, 70 years old and for them to still be in love. Because I see the alternatives. When you go into people's homes, you see two couples that just hate each other. One's sitting on the sofa, the other one's doing the estimate. You know this. You had to have seen these dynamics. Another couple, they can't get along with anything. The guy is like arguing with the wife about the color or the design. They just hate each other. And then you have the couple where the man glorifies the wife. This is her project, whatever she wants. That's me. Whatever she wants. Like this is I would whatever. I don't care. You want to do that? Great. Honey, that's a great idea. And he's involved and he's like, honey, do you like that idea? And he encourages her and he helps her, he lifts her up. Right. I love those people. And then at the end, I say, let me ask you, how long have you been married? Oh, we've been married for 50, 60 years. And you just see that they have so much love in their face. And they probably have grandchildren, and they probably go up to a cabin once a year, and friggin' there's 30 friggin' people there. And sometimes they live in a small house, and it doesn't matter. It's like they're so rich.
Doesn't matter at that point.
They're so rich. And I say, what's the secret? And they tell me these wonderful gems of love. And they say, bro, just love one another. Don't go to bed angry. Be willing to sacrifice for one another. Compromise, and they give their best secret to
You
me.
want me to do? You want me to tell everyone a huge
Getting a
gem?
little emotional here.
Love it. Dude,
love that stuff.
You're the man. I love you, dude. So here, this is how you keep a marriage successful. This is it. This is the whole secret. Everyone ready? Self-love. You love yourself so much that you allow everyone else to love themselves as much as possible. You allow them to be themselves. You allow them to evolve and grow, and you don't need to be right. You let the ego go.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, I understand. You join together. Self-love. I know it sounds so like, oh, no, it's confidence. It's the strongest individual.
Men talk
because
about
you don't
love.
need anything, because the self-love pushes you. You don't need motivation anymore. You love yourself so much that you make everything in your life the best it could be.
Yeah.
Period. So if you have this self-love, if you practice loving yourself, if you practice feeling inside your body, and I love you, body. Thank you for allowing me to live today. Thank you for allowing me to experience this phenomenal universe and expand. And these are things I've been practicing on for a while. And trust me, guys, I felt like nothing would ever work in my life ever with my energy level going up. And Tanner's known me a long time. He knows I've been on the high energy kick and enthusiasm and positivity thing. I just started believing and loving myself to the utmost. That's when everything started to kick in. I started to detach from material things I thought I needed, and I started honing in on loving my family and loving the people who love me the most, and bringing the energy to my environment, not letting my energy out. Like, why am I going to give my energy to all these energy vampires who don't deserve my energy, and then I'm depleted of energy, and I take energy from everyone else in my house. Self-love. When you have self-love, you will not allow someone to take your energy, and you will never allow yourself to take somebody's energy, especially if you love them. That's how you stay married.
We're definitely finishing on that. We're definitely ending on that note. That's it. Guys, Alex, I love you, man. This was great.
Yeah.
Drop that thing, bro.
Oh, hey, real quick, I'm gonna start doing some podcasts where I'm actually gonna, put some like Excel sheets together, kind of show you in a scientific term and spiritual term how energy works through the body with intention, so that you can really see and understand scientifically and spiritually how this all works. I'm gonna start doing that Monday. I'm gonna do it for my team.
Let's give our listeners some homework, man. What's something they can focus on this week? That's a simple focus that could help them begin the process of self-love.
So I would, if any of the goals you have, stop trying to need it to feel a certain way. Try being in the feeling of already having everything you want and detaching from getting it. So now you're going to be your accomplishments. You're going to raise your energy, so you're the attractor of your accomplishments, and on your journey, you'll enjoy it instead of stressing your way to it. And that's a lifetime of practice, but you can start practicing that. And meditation is the practice of being in the feeling, so you can close your eyes, visualize the feeling, visualize the events, be those events, be those feelings, see how it evolves, and already have that. Like when you close your eyes and you visualize, your body thinks those things are actually happening. So if you're already in the resonance of having these things, your body, mind, thoughts, actions will lead you to these things automatically.
Love it. Well, thank you guys. P2 Theory, episode 2. Love you, bro. See you soon.
Oh,